Hello, everybody. I am the fucking bear, and I am here to ask you one question and one question only, and that question is, why the fuck haven't you played Outer Wilds yet? No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear your fucking excuses. It isn't often that a game comes along that, in my eyes, fully encapsulates everything that makes video games amazing. Everything that makes video games unique. I don't care how good of a story a game has. If it's just fucking shat out at you during cutscenes, you might as well be watching a movie while playing Candy Crush on your phone for all the difference that fucking makes. Last game I can remember that made me feel this way was Return of the Obra Dinn, which again, why the fuck haven't you played that? But either way, I'm here because it's not often that a game that you, as soon as you played it, you immediately put it into one of your top 5 games of all time. That's a rare thing. And it's even rarer when that game done gone does and gets it some DLC. Okay. Now, the Outer Wilds. Hey, buddy. You're getting killed by Ghost Matter. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. It breaks my heart that I didn't, forget how high you can jump. There's only one time in the game that you actually need to use your little froggy jumpies. Because we're froggy people. And that's when you're on this planet before you get your shit. And after that, you got your jetpack and all that shit. Well, you know, what if I don't want to fly? How you doing, Micah? Now, I don't know how to get to the DLC. So, my plan, just hear me out. My plan is to just sort of wander for a bit. Get my shit on. And then buckle up. Lift off. Alright. Oh, look at that beautiful sun that looks so innocuous, like nothing bad could ever happen with that sun. Alright. So, while I'm trying to figure out how to start the DLC, and what, because see, I haven't looked at anything. Literally all I know about the DLC is there's a swamp. That's literally the only thing I know about the DLC. There's a swamp. Because, like, the actual icon for buying it on, what is it called? The digital store is a picture of a swamp. How do I orbit? Yeah, hold to match velocity. Anyway, I remember there was a way to match the orbit of something so that you weren't. Anyway, I think that what I'll do is while I'm trying to figure out what, how to do the DLC, I'm going to give a bit of a rundown of the story of this game. Now, I want you to remember that I'm not very good when it comes to lore. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I suck at it. I feel like my ship moves faster than it used to. Am I crazy? It's faster than I used to. Anyway. But yeah, I suck at, like, the idea of lore. Like, lore is just not... It's not what I would call a forte. See, look at this. The bramble is a lot closer. Did they, like, do a patch where they, like, just, like, generally made everything closer to everything? I'm not really sure I like that, just because, everything being so, like, out there was, like, part of the appeal to me. But anyway, I can understand that also being a, annoyance for some people. Anywho, I remember, like, see, here's my problem when it comes to lore. I'm gonna turn the magic down. Magic up a bit and sound effect down. There we go. Like, I like looking into lore in games, but, like, I don't really care enough to, like, deep dive it and, like watch, like, lore videos, mostly because lore videos are boring. I think they take themselves too seriously. They don't make any jokes or anything. I actually had an idea once of doing, like, a lore video where, like, everything I say I'm just pulling out of my ass, but I'm doing it about, like, some obscure games people have never heard of, and just, like, see how long you can get into the video before you realize I'm making everything up on the spot. I remember when one cool moment was, I remember when I was playing Bloodborne when it first launched. And within, like, oh god, okay, there we go. That's good. When Bloodborne first launched, I within, like, I'd say about 20 minutes of starting the game, I had uncovered that there was, like, a Lovecraftian storyline, and I was streaming the game at the time, and when I said, oh, this game's got some Lovecraft shit in it, I don't remember that radio tower. Everyone in the chat was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Lovecraft? It ain't got anything to do with fucking Lovecraft. It's fucking Victorian fucking London with fucking werewolves and shit. And I had guessed at that solely based on the description of the madman's knowledge, whatever thingy-majigger, because that description, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was all like gaining knowledge and it driving you nutter bonkers and all that shit. And that was a cool moment. But anyway, so that's all to say that I don't hey, here's my town. Maybe I should, there we go. Let me unbuckle for a second. Does my computer still have all the shit that all my entries? Yes, yeah, all my entries. Okay. I'm gonna give you a very, Hollow's Lantern. I remember when I played that, it bugged me that, like, you can't go to Hollow's Lantern because it's a big fire fuck. But, it annoyed me that you couldn't get any entries about it. How do I bring up my, scanner? That's my voicey. I'm talking about my scanny. No, I don't want... I want my scanner. No, not you. How do I retrieve you? Yeah, this scout thing is cool. Let me get out of here. I want to show you what I can do. I can go... plonk! And then I can just take pictures of it as it's going along. Or I could just go fuck you, you're going to space. And then it's just taking pictures as it's going into space. And there's actually some puzzles that you gotta use that in order to solve. Anyway. So, I realized that my, computer, probably has, like, all the data that I need to go over the story, but I think it'd be more entertaining if the story of this game was regaled to you by someone who, first off, has a terrible memory, second, was barely paying attention in the first place, and then third, has I can't remember what number 3 was. The story is that in a couple of minutes, the sun's gonna explode. It's gonna fucking explode. And I feel like that's one of them things that's like, one of them twists that, like, I can't really blame them for this, because you really should go into a game knowing if you're going to even enjoy its core gameplay mechanic. But at the same time, I feel like that oh, I'm about to crash back into my planet. That core gameplay mechanic is like, you know, I'm just gonna match velocity of the moon. There we go. I'm just velocipating with the moon. So I get hiding something as massive as that. How am I thought I had velocity with the moon. I guess I gotta be closer to it for it to count. Like I'm velocitating, but if it tries to sit and go over the horizon, and I am the horizon, that ain't gonna end well. Anyway, so when you first start this game, you don't get your ship right away. You have to go through a series of puzzles and, like, talking to peoples and whatnot in order to get your what is it? Your launch codes, and then you can go. And by then, you're probably gonna be able to, like, explore, like, a little bit before you're gonna have your first kablooey. And it's really cool because the music starts swelling when the kablooey's about to happen. And so it kind of, like, hints for you to, like, look around and see, like, what the fuck's going on. It can be ruined a little if you end up dying accidentally, because there are ways to accidentally die, you know, smacking your face into shit, falling into lava. But I was lucky enough that when I played this game, I did not know about the mechanics, because when I got stimulus check, I just was like, I'm just gonna grab a few games that look interesting. I don't care. Fuck it. But anyway, what happens is you, at one point there's this museum, and I think the museum is probably going to be where I need to go in order to get the DLC started, because when I launched out the game, it said that a new exhibit has been added to the museum, and where the fuck this planet's called. Does my home planet even have a name? Does my home planet have a name? Timber. Yeah, I forgot that. But anyway, in the meantime, like, when you go there, there's this mask that you touch, and it, like, goes all, and then when you die, it rewinds to that moment that you saw me wake up and by my campfire. And basically the whole point of the game, and this is what I think I love about the game, is that there are no upgrades in this entire game. You do not find any upgrades. The only unlock that you could even call an unlock is when you first discover the codes to your ship. And then once you have those codes, you can then hop on the ship as soon as a loop starts. The goal of the game is to go to these various planets and scan stuff that, like, one of the scientists on your planet created like a universal decoder thingy-majigger that can read like the ancient writing. And the story kind of revolves around these ancients. So I'm now comes back to like my talk about stories and lore, and how I am complete ass at explaining anything of the ever. Take a sip of soda real quick. No. I miss my Sody Pop song. Only true OGs will get that. Alright. Now, there was this ancient civilization. How ancient they were, I can't remember. I don't know if it was ever specifically stated how much longer before we lived they did. But they were out in space on their Starship Enterprise cruising for chicks. And they got this radio signal. And what was interesting about the radio signal is that they could tell how old the signal was. Now, I don't know if that's a real thing. I don't know if being able to tell how old a radio signal is like an actual thing, but sure, we'll go with it. And they discovered that, holy shit, the radio signal is older than the Earth itself. That's not the Earth, older than the universe itself. Now that's kind of wonky, don't you think? Don't you think that's just a teensy bit honky? So they're like, fuck it, let's go. Let's fucking go explore this signal and figure out what the fuck this is about. So they're teleporting, telebombadorting. Well, they crash. They get here. Now, this is where my memory is gonna get a little foggy, because it has been over a year since I played this game. They crash over here in what's known as the Dark Bramble. Now, the Dark Bramble is not a very pleasant place. I know it just looks like a little place, but this here's basically the House of Leaves of space. Imagine the House of Leaves, but with giant fucking anglerfish. Like, I swear, they're creepy as hell. In fact, if I can get my fat ass over there, I could show you. Come here, motherfucker. Alright. Now, I can use my scout. No, retrieve the scout, How do I'm trying to remember how I go up. Hold on, how do I go up? How do I verticalate this shit? No, I want flight. Up, thrust, down. Okay. Alright. Now I'm gonna give you the scare of a lifetime right quick. Match velocity. And we're just gonna shoot you in there. Well. Oh, there's one. There's one of them fuckers. Yeah. And that place is very winding and just very messed up. It's not a very pleasant place to be, is what I'll say. Now, I know one of the ship, like the main starship, got caught in that bramble as it was searching for the source of the signal. I can't remember if that was if like they only had one ship or if they had a fleet. That's one thing I can't remember, because there are a few other crashed ships, but I can't remember if those were the ones that escaped from the bramble, or if they were ones that like just didn't get caught by it in the first place. So the ones that escaped began basically using this area as kind of a base of operations to kind of, you know, rebuild, and some of the scientists were still kind of focused on the whole eye of the universe thing, because that's what they believe. They believe since the universe is always expanding, and if the signal was as old as time, then of course the signal had to originate from the eye of the universe. That was pretty sound logic. I think we're about to have our explosion. Because I think it comes at like 22 minutes. And we're coming up on 22 minutes. And so, let's see here. Where's the next place I need to talk to you about? Yep, Brittle Hollow. That's where we need to go next. Brittle Hollow, Brittle Hollow. And the interesting thing about the Hell's Bramble is you may have seen some of it when I was like looking around my my own place. There's actually some of it in other locations, and it seems to it's like it's kind of like a fucky fuck of space and time, where why am I not? Come on. Come on. Here we go. Get back over there. This is the one thing I do like about the game. I can see it annoying some people, but if you are in too much of a hurry to get somewhere, you can just keep holding your thrust and holding your thrust and holding your thrust. But as you get close to it, you need to fucking lower that there thrust, because you're gonna crash if you don't. Now, as you can see, the Brittle Hollow is collapsing, and in the center is a black hole. Now, this is one of them things that you just have to suspend your disbelief that, okay, maybe that's just how things work within this universe. Different things, you know, I think that especially when it comes to like scientific or spacey games, people want too much for the laws of physics to act exactly how they do in our world, and I think that's kind of unrealistic expectation. I think bending the laws of physics for like whatever, as long as it's internally consistent, as long as you don't create a rule and then break your own rules, I think it's fine. Reason I needed to show you the Brittle Hollow and how you can see that it's basically collapsing in on itself is because that's the next stage of our story. But now I'm waiting for the sun to shoot us load so I can continue talking. I do love the music that plays at the end of a cycle. It's really good. Imagine you had no idea that this game was like a time loop, and you're just, you know, wandering around doing your thing, solving your puzzles, and you keep looking, and you're like, that sun's a little more red than it was before. I'm just saying. The sun seems just a teensy bit more red than it was before. Then the music starts swelling, and you're thinking, oh, did I uncover something really cool? And then you look up, and you're like, why is the wall from Fortnite coming after me? And then you got this really neat effect that I like. Alright. And I'm assuming the way it does this is it takes a picture every few seconds and then loops it backwards. Loops your recording back in on you. And that actually, I don't know if this was intentional, but that did actually have a purpose for me. Maybe I just got lucky, but during one of my deaths, during that loop, I did actually see something that reminded me, oh yeah, I was going to go check that out. So, that was actually helpful in a way. Now, got my launch code. Now, I'm not gonna do it just because it'd be annoying and take a while to do, but one thing I was never able to find for certain, but it could be that there was like a text log that I missed, because like, remember when I mentioned that you don't unlock anything in this game, you don't like get like power-ups or anything? It's all just like discovering writing, translating it, and then learning things from what you've read. But anyway, that is, yeah, that's Brittle Hollow. Okay, so if I wanted to, just to show you what it's like, it does. It's not really. I don't think it's important that you see what it's like. It's trippy, but it'd be time consuming. To just Oh yeah, there's the mysterious mystery. All right, I want to show you something about this thing. All right. Let's engage my autopilot. If this is what I think it is, this is a weird thing. No, I didn't want to do that. Anyway, look away. I'm gonna look back. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Yeah, that that little asteroid or satellite, I think is the natural satellite is the term, I believe, is actually one of the cores to like solving the game. You have to figure out why, like, it exists in like a sort of like separate space-time, and what you discover is it can't disappear if it's being monitored. But what happens is if you try to get close to it, the fog of the atmosphere blurs your vision, and that's considered enough for it to not be monitored, and it can disappear. So you always go through the fog, and then poof, you're just back out in space. Whoop-de-doo. But the trick you discover is if you shoot your little scout at a planet and have it the camera monitoring it, then you can go through it and land on it. So that was a cool puzzle to figure out. Actually, this is surprising for me because I usually break down eventually. I didn't actually look up anything when playing this game other than something at near the beginning, before I even got my ship, because I had misunderstood some controls. I don't know if that'll hold true for the DLC just because I'm recording and like spending 4 episodes just mumbling around and wondering and not having a clue what I'm doing might not make for entertaining video, or it could do tell me if you don't mind just watching me meander, having no clue what I'm doing. Anyway, so I'm gonna turn the music down just one more dot. Anyway, so in Brittle Hollow, there's a black hole in the middle, and when you go through it, you get transported there. If you see that light, I believe that's it. That's the outside of the black hole. So, again, not very far apart from each other, but what's interesting is, and what's like, I'd say I'd say the two most terrifying things about this game, and you wouldn't think of it as a horror game going into it, is those fucking anglerfish. Because I don't know if you could tell from the little picture I took, but them fuckers are big enough to eat your ship. And then also, if you're wandering around, because you haven't seen any gameplay like this yet, but there's definitely parts where you'll have to get out of your ship and wander around and look for stuff. And if you're on Brittle Hollow, wandering around, and you slip and you fall into the black hole and you get zooped over to the fucking exit of the black hole, that's not very pleasant. Now, there is a way to get back. There is actually a teleportation system in this game that you'll start to understand how to work. I can't for the life of me remember. I know it just has to do with standing on a certain location and waiting for like the sun to be at the right angle or some shit. Anyway, one thing they discovered, this asteroid's very important as well, the Interloper. One thing they discovered was that when you go through the black hole, it doesn't spit you out at the exact same time. It actually spits you out like a... I'm not even going to try to remember how long before. It was either a few minutes to a nanosecond before, like some amount of time before. It basically lets you travel back in time. And the ancients, they came up with this idea because they had never really... Now, again, at this point, I don't know off the top of my head how much time had passed between them first becoming stranded in this system and then this. I can't remember, like, the actual timings of these things. But they realized that this might actually be the answer to their Eye of the Universe problem. Because what they had done is they had built a probe. Now, if I get close to the sun, which probably is not a good idea, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking do it. You see that? You see that? Okay. You see that? You see that? See that little thing floating above it? See the little thing floating above the sun? Yep. And there it goes over the horizon. That's like the sun's station. And the idea was that they were going to make a probe. And they were going to shoot that probe out into space to try to find the center of the universe. Now, obviously, obviously the probe isn't gonna, like, the chances of the probe shooting in the correct direction to find the center of the universe on its first try is pretty fucking small. But they realized that they could use the technology of the black hole, which is why if I went over and landed it on, I don't know if I'll actually land on any of these planets because it'd just be a roundabout amount of time just to teach you something. But they discovered that if you landed on what am I saying? Then what the fuck? Is that the... Yeah, that's the white hole. You can see the white hole that the black hole shoots you out at. if you were on the Brittle Hollow and you accidentally fell through there while you didn't have your... Oh, was that leaving the solar system? Sorry about that. But, if you, got teleported away while not in your, ship, you only have a limited amount of, oxygen in your spacesuit. So basically finding yourself there just floating among that debris is a fucking terrifying experience, I swear to God. You want to see another terrifying experience? Hold on, let me show you something. This shit freaked me out. I suffer from megalophobia. You remember in the Majora's Mask when you look up and the moon's about to crash? Yeah, that's megalophobia. That's what that is. So like big objects like freak me out, but like what's fucked up is some of these objects don't seem as big as they are until you try to like land on them. So when I first went to Giants Deep, I had like a mini heart attack. Hold on. Wait. Oh shit. Okay, I got thrown right the fuck back out of there. Just like landing, like seeing like this like big thing. Oh, this all just freaks me the fuck out. But and then down under the yeah, I'm getting out. Leave me alone. I want to get out for a bit. I want to get out. Let me out. I forgot to put on my spacesuit. I forgot. I forgot to put on my spacesuit. I wondered why I could see my feetsies. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was... Hey, guess what? I froze to death. Anyway. Oh, that should have made for a little bit of entertainment. We're gonna suit up. Yeah. Because we're smart like that. Anyway. So, yeah, back to Brittle Hollow. They discovered that they could basically use the slight... Thinking further and further back, I almost want to think that the amount of time travel was like so minuscule that it wasn't even noticeable. But one thing I never did discover is because like if you look at Brittle Hollow now, it's pretty much like completely fine, and then like the its Hollow's lantern, its little mini sun, little mini satellite, is raining some fire on it, and it's causing it to break apart and fall into the black hole that is at the center of the planet. And then all that black hole stuff is starting to appear, you know, out yonder. I haven't talked much about the Ash Twins just because, to me, they're the most boring planet. There isn't really anything, like, super interesting about them. The only thing is, one of them is made almost entirely of sand, and over the course of the 22 minutes that the game lasts, the sand planet is slow, as you can see, like an hourglass pouring onto the regular planet. And between that and the Brittle Hollow, I do find myself wondering, I never could, like, find, like, maybe I missed a log or something, but I couldn't find, like, an explanation of if that's just a cycle that regularly happens, or if that's something that's happening in conjunction with the Earth about to explode. Like, because, like, the Ash Twin, I seem to remember reading something about, like, it, being cyclic, where it goes back and forth. But with the Brittle Hollow, it'd be kind of weird for them to have to, like, how would they go and get the pieces of it to continually bring it back to, like, did they have operations? Again, this could be a log that I don't think I ever 100%ed the game as far as logs and stuff, because literally all you have to do is uncover enough of the mystery to know how to trigger the ending, and I'll get to the ending in a minute. I'd say the ending is probably my least favorite part of the game. But there could be stuff that I missed, but I don't know how, like, they would, all these, like, structures would, I don't know. I want to think that maybe the Ash Twin was like a cycle of it pouring back and forth over and over again, because they did build, like, some scientific equipment there. And then maybe the Brittle Hollow is the one that only recently started, but then why would it be called Brittle Hollow? I don't know. But anyway, so they came up with this idea that they would build this computer that would they could use the how do I put this? The they could send data back in time through the I don't know why my mind is blanking on words here, but through the black hole and the time difference that it created, they could. What they would do is they created this machine that would send a probe in a random direction. And then when it obviously didn't find the center of the universe, didn't find the signal, it would send information back in time telling the probe that one wasn't it. So what the probe would do is it would immediately switch to its next random destination, and when that one sent the thing back in time saying no, that wasn't it, and it would just do that just bajillions of times, to us we wouldn't notice any difference. All we would notice was that the very first probe that ever got sent ended up being the right one. That's what we would notice. So that's how they were gonna find their center of the universe that they had, built their entire fucking lives and religion and shit around trying to find. Then there came a problem. And if I can find that little fucker around here somewhere, he usually isn't that hard to miss. Where are you, you little bitch? Where are you, you little bitch? Where are you, you little bitch? That you? That you? There you are, you interloping bitch. So, they, were working on this, and they had the final touches, and they created the Sun Forge, which was going to harness the power of the sun to, power this whole thing. And I think there was some subplot where, like, the Sun Forge didn't work the first time, and they were troubleshooting it, trying to figure out what was wrong with it, why it wasn't working. But that's when this comet appeared. Now, there's a gameplay mechanic I haven't mentioned, just because I haven't needed to mention it, but it's a dark matter, negative matter, black matter. I can't remember exactly what they called it. But it exists. There's the white hole that you come out of when you go through the thing. But when that comet appeared, if I can fucking get to it, this is what I was talking about, where you can think you're slowly getting towards something, but your velocity is really, you really got to pay attention to your velocity up there, because it fucks you up, man. It really does fuck you up. See, now I'm in positive velocity, so even though it looks like I'm going so slow to get to it, I'm going 100 miles per second, or meters per second, either one. Now I'm going 200. And yeah, that seems like it's still not a lot, but that means that when I finally get to that, I'm going to zoom past it at 300 miles per second. So what you need to do is you need to you can raise your speed a lot, but then you got to keep an eye on that second number. And as you get close, start lowering that second nut. See what I did? See what I did? See what I did? Come on. Engage the autopilot. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. So come say hi. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to show this to you, because I think there was a whole mechanic where I have to wait for I just can't keep fucking. I was really good at this. I was really good at, like, watching the numbers and figuring out exactly when I need to decelerate. There was a point where I was good at that. I did get pretty damn good at that. Alright. Alright. Now, if I can just land on this rat bastard. Yeah. Perfect landing. Perfect landing. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to get inside right now, because I'll have to see how low the ice is. Yeah, the ice isn't low at all. What happens is, as I get close, as this asteroid gets over close to this, that was another cool thing about this game, is almost every planet has its own events that are happening. Like the even though I said it was probably my least favorite planet, the twins up there, their whole thing is that, and oop, there goes that boy. Their whole thing was that one is slowly pushing. Okay, now you can see the ice melting. One is slowly pushing the sand onto the other. Oh shit. Are we at the Spody already? Music didn't play. It's weird that you would do that when the Spody hadn't played. Anyway. There's an entrance here that I have to find while it's melted. But... hey, no. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Untranslated. No my recording. How do I translate? Trouble seems the comet wishes to submerge our shuttle in ice. If we stay on the surface too long, the shuttle may freeze entirely. And if it did, gonna call some gravity. And yes, with exploration, the comet should be more difficult if we were out the shuttle until someone recalled it. Perhaps we should have landed on the dark side of the comet. Suppose one of us remain in the shuttle. Yeah. Anyway, there's an entrance into this comet somewhere. But what happened is, they basically, like, once their probe failed, like their, like, whatever it was that they were, like, however they had, why are you done floating around, motherfucker? Once it failed, they were very disheartened. And they were trying to figure out what was causing it, but, like, some of them, like, definitely not everyone in the group was, like, that hell-bent on finding the center of the universe. Like, others were just, like, just enjoying science for the sake of sciencing. And when this comet appeared, they saw it as, like, a opportunity to say, hey, let's look into a fresh mystery, like a new mystery, and we'll figure out, like, what the fuck's going on. What is this comet? This seems interesting. Now, throughout the game, there's been these patches. There's even a, there's a, I can't remember exactly how, but there is a, yeah, the signal scope can pick up the dark matter, I believe. So, like, and what happens is if you step into a spot that's got the dark matter, it basically damages you really bad until you die. So it for most of the game, it operates as just kind of a generic, like, barrier, like thing to try to get by, figure out how to get where you want to get, kind of thing. Yeah. I wanted to use my last few minutes to get into the ship, but it looks like we're fuel level critical. I need to refuel myself. As you can see, there's not much you have. Where's my fuel at? There we go. Um, if I can get by the sun again before it explodes and find that entrance. There's not really anything to see. It's just they found this like egg, and when they was looking at it, started making noise, and like at the last second they screamed for each other to run, and you find like one of them dead by the entrance, and then one of them dead by like the uh um by the egg. And it seems that, and this is the part that I may be completely 100% off base on, but it seems that this was an extinction event for this race. Because it seems that what happened, because you can find traces of this dark matter all over, like on all the planets. Even like in the tutorial, like when you're first like exploring your little home base, you can find bits of it, and there's like even a little tutorial bit saying, "Oh, avoid this. It'll." So what I'm thinking is that when that egg opened, it splurted that dark matter across this entire galaxy, killing all of them. Because the weird thing is, so many people died in positions where it just seemed like they were just chilling or they were busy with something. Very few of them died like in a way that looked like they knew they were about to die. That's what's interesting about it. So anyway, when the sun explodes, I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to continue this explanation in the next episode, and then hopefully now that I've done this big, pointless, unnecessary recap, I can actually get to checking out the DLC if I can figure out how to start it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.